Mind the gap. Welcome back to Christian Arnold Golf, and welcome back golf fans. Today I'm going to do something quite interesting. I'm going to go to do some gap testing at a local centre here in Milton Keynes. Now this is very interesting because I think a lot of mid to high handicap golfers, they miss a trick here, and a lot of them, when you speak to them or people I play with, they won't know, for example, how far their 8-iron carries, and that's something that's very important to trying to drop shots. I am not good at golf. All right. I have done everything I can to try and drop a shot here or a shot there, and I think it's something very important that golfers should go and do. Today I'm at an indoor golf centre. Now these places are freaking gold when it's the winter months like it is now here in the UK. And I'm going to be doing a few videos over the winter here at Pro Shot Golf Club here in Milton Keynes. And for a relatively small price you can come in here and do gap testing. I do use Arcos, so I've got a good understanding, but it'd be very interesting to see what the actual numbers are when I go into play today. So without further ado, let's get to it. So I do use Arcos, so I've got a pretty good idea of how far a lot of my clubs go, but I'm going to have a little prediction here and see if I'm right. So for my 59 degree wedge, I think that goes about 70 yards carry. For my 54 degree, I think it goes 80 yards carry. For my gap wedge, I think that goes 100 yard carry. My pitching wedge is 125. My 9-iron is 135. My 8-iron I think is 145. My 7-iron, very interestingly enough, I think that only goes about 150. So only a 5-yard difference, which again gap testing will be able to tell me where it's even worth having both of them in the bag. My 6-iron I think goes 165. My 5-iron goes 180. My GAPR mid 3-iron goes 200 carry, I think. My 7-wood I'm going to say 190 yard carry. My 3 hybrid, to be honest, I don't really know because I've never really hit it, so I'm going to guess 175. And my driver, I think if I hit a good one, it's 250 carry. And the great thing about Pro Shot Golf Club here is after you've done your gap test, they send you all the data so you can actually analyse it yourself, look at it and see where you're going wrong. It also gives you things like spin rates, so you can see whether I use JPX 921 hot metal irons, and they're renowned for giving you distance, but are they good for spin? I still need to hit and hold a green, so it'd be very interesting to see if that's changed over the last year. It's been a year since I did my last testing, so it'd be really interesting to see if much has changed or if it's pretty much the same. But for me, this is incredibly important for any mid to high handicap golfer to get down to a place like this or a golf centre where they can give you the data and you can understand and exactly know how far your clubs carry. Not how far they go, how far they carry. It's so important. They also do a mean cup of coffee here. Oh yeah! They're definitely good guys here. I hear someone talking about the Spurs game, so he's a Spurs fan, so he must be a good guy. I should point out I haven't played golf for 4 weeks, so I'm hoping this doesn't look too bad and I can edit out all the bad shots. What's the ball? There it is. One right of that one. So I'm going to hit 10 shots with each club. Now, when I say 10 shots, I'll be removing any tops or duffs or bad shots, but it will give a good indication and get a good average. Start off with the 59. I've absolutely smoked some of my 59 degree wedges there. If I put it in as 58 because the system doesn't see that it's a 59, or you can't put it in as 59 on TrackMan. One thing to note is that these are based on perfect conditions, so a perfect summer's day, no wind, so this is really given the raw data, not what you might expect on a golf course out in the middle of October like we are here in the UK. Next up, my 54. Next up, the gap wedge. Next up, pitch and wedge. Next up, 9-iron. Eight iron. Six iron. So sweaty. One thing to point out, I am using my ball, the Titleist Pro V1X, because I think it's important that when you're doing any testing like this, you actually use your real ball. The balls that you get at driving ranges are harder, they're different, you won't get the same kind of feedback or data. 5 iron. Three hybrid. Three iron, but I'm teeing this one up because I'll never hit it off the ground. Found it. 7 wood. The big stick. All done. So sweaty. I'm back here now at home after my 1.5-hour session at Pro Shot Golf Club in Milton Keynes. Had an absolute blast, loved it there. I could spend all day at that place, I absolutely love it. It's like a bowling alley but for golf, so there's a bar there, you can watch live TV, you can watch the golf, have a few beers, play some shots with your friends, play famous courses. It's awesome in there. I'm not sponsored by them, but it really is an awesome place and worth getting down to if you get a chance. I did gap testing approximately about a year ago at Trackman, again at the same facility, and a lot of the numbers have changed, so very interesting. It does show you that it's worth doing this quite regularly. I hit about 10 shots per club and I took away some of the really bad duffs and also a couple of the occasional flyers, the real sweet ones which probably aren't indicative of your usual swing. Now I've not played golf for 4 weeks, so I don't think some of my hits were great today, and the dispersion I'll show you in a minute. The dispersion is pretty chaotic and all over the place, but it still gave me some very important data, particularly things like spin was very interesting. Also, my club face is still open and it's driving me crazy. I can't seem to close it. So again, if any of you got any good tips on that, or even if you have a YouTube link that you could send me of another video or a coach where they can try and teach you something, I'll give that a bash and also record that and put it on the channel. Looking at the results, very interesting. So I thought my 59 degree, which is 58 on Trackman because I haven't got 59, I thought that would go approximately 70 yards carry. Trackman shows that it goes 75 carry and it stops after 78. So I'm getting good stopping power with my Vokey SM9, so that's great. Similarly, my 59 I believe goes 80 and Trackman shows it's going 85. So very interesting. I'm actually getting a few more yards than maybe I thought. So maybe next time when I'm trying to carry a bunker or to try and land it on a green with these SM9s, perhaps I can be a bit more aggressive and know that I will carry the obstacles, and you know, I'm getting a little bit more. Gap wedge, I said 100 yards and I'm almost dead on the money there. 100 yards carry is the average from Trackman today, so that just shows, and again it's a club I use a lot, so I was very confident about that and I'm pleased that works out. Stopping power almost a yard, so I am actually getting good connection with my gap wedge. Probably should use it more often. Pitch and wedge, I said 125. Interesting enough, on the gap test today, 117, so perhaps a little bit less than I would like, and actually the gap between the gap wedge and the pitch and wedge is probably not as big as I thought it was, so maybe I should bring out that pitch and wedge a bit more often. 9-iron, I said 135. This is solely based on the fact that I play a par 3 at Wimble Hill. You've probably seen it on the other videos. It's 135 yards, I always hit 9-iron and I pretty much end up in the centre of the green if I hit it properly. That's true, but the actual carry, 129. So a little bit less than I probably thought on that, so that's very interesting. A 9-iron is probably my most consistent strike of club. It's the club I go to if I need to make sure that I just hit it straight and on the fairway. My 8-iron, I said 145, and I'm actually quite pleased to see 142. This means there's a 13-yard gap between the 9-iron and the 8-iron. Now, for a long time, I've been thinking, is it even worth having the 8-iron in the bag? Because I hit the 7 and 8-iron almost the same. Well, that turns out it might not be the truth. So again, this has been a really good exercise in that regard. 7-iron, I thought 150. I hit 152 today, so bang on. Although the carry is 152 yards. I'm getting nearly 11 yards of roll, so maybe there's an issue with the spin there. I don't know. I've got to put the numbers up, as I say. It'll be interesting to see what a 7-iron should be spinning at. Maybe it's just me hitting it badly, I don't know. But I don't take a divot when I swing, which is something, again, I'm trying to work on and trying to figure out why I'm not doing that. But that could be why I'm getting a lack of spin. Maybe these JPX 921 hot metals, maybe they're pushing that a little bit more. And on the lofted clubs, it's fine, but on the 7, it's starting to show that actually they roll quite a lot more. So again, very different from the 8-iron, which I was getting stopping power of within 7 yards. So it's an extra 4 yards of roll, and that just means rolls off the green perhaps. So interesting. My 6-iron, I thought, goes about 165 yards, and Trackman said 164, so bang on the money with that one. Slight concern about the amount of roll though, 181 yards of roll on average. So I'm obviously not getting enough trajectory on it, and it's not stopping, not enough spin maybe, I don't know. 5-iron, I thought went 180 yards carry, quite off the mark on this one. This is where this gap testing is really interesting. I hit my 5-iron pretty good. I was really quite happy with how I was hitting it, and obviously started to warm up as I was hitting the balls. And it turns out my carry, my 5-iron, is 171 yards. So not really a big difference from my 6-iron. And again, a lot of roll, 189 yards roll in general. So I'm getting nearly, God, what's that? I can't do the maths. 18 yards of roll, which is, you know, pretty bad really. When you think, if I'm trying to attack a pin with a 5-iron, there's almost no point, because I'm just going to hit the front of the green and roll off the back. So a bit concerning with that, and maybe that is something to do more with my technique and the way I hit the ball. And as I mentioned, I don't think I get a lot of spin because maybe the clubs that I'm using are game improvement bats, and I don't know, maybe that's one of the issues that I'm having. My GAPR, my 3-iron GAPR, is hit only off a tee, so I don't use it off the ground, so I thought there's no point in me actually testing that and getting a Trackman data on that. So I've hit it off the tee. I thought it went 200 yards carry, and I was bang on the money, 202, so boom, happy with that one. Again, lots of roll on that, but that's fine, that's what that club's meant for. I'm not trying to hit a green with a 3-iron and get it to stop still. My free hybrid, interesting one, because I don't really ever hit it full shots, so I wasn't really sure. I guessed 175 carry if hit well. Turns out 185, so again, actually a little bit more than I anticipated. And again, good roll on that, so maybe I should be using that a bit more often. Maybe looking at the yardages, might be worth dumping the 5-iron, and that's why this gap testing is so important, because it highlights all these issues that maybe you didn't know was in your bag. 7 wood, I thought it went 190 yards carry and would stop within about 200 yards. It is my 200-yard club, so that made sense to me. And I was pretty much on the money, 196 on average, and again, it does have stopping power, and it was 214 in total. So maybe a little bit more roll than I thought. I thought it does stick quite well. Again, it might have been the way I was hitting it. At the end of the Trackman session, I was getting a bit rushed for time, so I was hitting less shots with my 7 wood and driver than I was with my irons, because I was running out of time simply. Driver, I was very confident on this, 250, and it's 242. So pretty good with that, pretty happy with that. Again, it does mean that it's maybe a little bit less than I thought it was in my head, and average roll is 264, so actually less than I thought it would be, even though I'm not a great golfer. I do hit my driver quite far for a handicapper of my caliber, so quite surprised to see that, but still quite happy with it. It was also very interesting to see that almost all of my shots go right. on the dispersion, particularly with the driver. So again, another great thing to get, that you don't get this feedback sometimes at a normal driving range. So I know there are driving ranges out there with TrackMan. I think they're absolutely fantastic. I will be doing a video, I think, at Kingfisher Golf Centre, which is near Milton Keynes. I don't know if it's actually in Milton Keynes. It'd be really interesting to see how those figures exchange to actually being on the driving range in the elements, actually outside with wind and etc. So, conclusion. Is gap testing worth it? 100%. I think every mid to high handicapper should be doing this at least once a year. Today it's cost me £30 for a 1 hour session on TrackMan at Pro Shot Golf Club. And it's been really interesting. I'm also going to look a bit more into the data of the spin rates and compare what should a normal 7-iron be for spin rate, because it looks like after 7-iron I lose all spin and I get no stopping power, so the ball's just going up. I'm getting distance, but it's just rolling. So maybe that's something again I need to look at in my game for approach play. Maybe I need to take that in consideration, and maybe anything above a 7-iron I need to essentially accept that I'm probably not going to get on the green or land on the green, and accept that I have a lay up short, or I go for it and accept if it's going to end up in a bunker or at the back of the green or nowhere near, and just accept that that's how I hit the ball and I don't get a good stopping power. Maybe it's worth having a little go trying out some other golf clubs to see whether it'll increase my spin. Might just me being a crap golfer and me not striking the ball cleanly enough and taking the divot, which is something I'm really trying to work on in my game. So let me know, what do you think? If you've liked today's video, please like and subscribe. I'll be doing weekly golf content aimed for the mid to high handicapper. Please leave a message down below. It would be great to get your feedback on what you think I'm doing right, what you think I'm doing wrong. If there's anything you'd like me to follow up on or make a video of, it would be great feedback to know what you guys enjoy about the channel. Also, big thank you to Pro Shot Golf Club here in Milton Keynes for letting me film today, and there's going to be a lot more videos coming out during the winter. We'll be able to get some videos even through the harshest months of the British winter. Make sure my hat's straight. Beautiful. Oh, my legs. Too old for this. Cut that one out. 7 wood, I said 200 yards. No, I didn't say that. B for a golfer trying out a driving range. Didn't say that very well, did I? Ball into the gap.